You're watching The Ugly Inside? Subscribe below.
Welcome to the predicted starting 11 for the long trip to Lancashire on Saturday afternoon. Early doors for most of us. It's going to be a tough game at Turf Moor to play Burnley, but let's get into the team. So starting off in between the sticks, then it's got to be Fraser, Forster. As we know, McCarthy's still not anywhere near returning to the team. Harry Lewis obviously made his debut against Norwich, but I think Forster's going to retain his place in this Premier League game. So let's get into defence, and let's start off with right back, and it's going to be Cedric Soares to retain his place from the Liverpool game. Actually had a great game for me. Actually got up and down that wing all day long and offered a lot of energy, and also got into the box and wasn't afraid to take a shot. Perhaps he made a little bit of a wrong decision there. That's a tiny criticism, but overall he had a great game against Liverpool, so for him to retain his place against Burnley. Into the centre of defence, then Claude Puel said in his conference that Jose Font will still not play any part against Burnley, and likely that he will also not play any part for the rest of January unless he decides to make a U-turn, or of course he leaves the club. So that being said, it's got to be Meyer, Yoshida and Virgil van Dijk to partner themselves together for this Burnley. It's going to be a tough game, and I'll be honest, Yoshida actually had a great game against Liverpool. I mean, it's hard to pick faults in any players in Wednesday's performance, but Yoshida actually this season has learned from the mistakes. That was almost a given that he was going to make a mistake last year, so Yoshida has learned from that and actually looks like an important part of the team right now. And obviously we know all about Virgil van Dijk. Again, another immense game against Liverpool, and it looks like he's going to be our leader for the foreseeable future. In at left back, Ryan Bertrand's actually played quite a lot of the games recently, so I think Puel will make a few rotations for this game as expected. So for this one, I'm going to say Sam McQueen to start in at left back. He's due a start. He hasn't played since the Everton game and deserved a rest because it was a couple of games in a few days. So Sam McQueen to return against Burnley. In the centre of midfield then, as I just said, I think Claude Puel will rotate, and it's a guessing game every week which players are going to start. So I think it might well be another 5 or 6 again for this Burnley game. Of course, we want to make sure that we go through in the FA Cup. So I think, to a degree, I think he will rest some of our first team players to ensure that we do get through the FA Cup third round. So with that being said, the first central midfielder then for me will be James Ward-Prowse. He came off the bench against Liverpool, didn't make much of an impact, but as I said, I think it's going to be rotation and to keep the players fresh. The squad's been stretched a minute, but James Ward-Prowse will start against Burnley. In the holding midfield position, it's got to be Oriol Romeu. Had a wonderful game, probably the man of the match against Liverpool. Looked back to his best after a sloppy Christmas period. So Oriol Romeu is going to get stuck into a Burnley. It's going to be a tough game at Turf Moor on Saturday. To finish off the central midfield, then I think it's going to be Pierre-Emile Højbjerg. Looked wonderful in the Norwich game away from home at Carrow Road. Offered a great delivery for Yoshida's goal. Came off the bench against Liverpool, and Davis is also a doubt for this game, so it's unsure whether he's going to start. So Pierre-Emile Højbjerg to start against Burnley. Into the forward line then, let's start on the right wing. Let's start with Nathan Redmond. Had a wonderful contribution, was unlucky not to score more than one goal on Wednesday night, and looked like the player that we signed him for. In the centre forward position then, it alternates every single week, so with J-Rod starting against Liverpool, I expect Shane Long to start against Burnley. Although it has to be said, Rodriguez will make an appearance at some point, and I think he's going to get a wonderful reception. Speaking to the No No Never podcast, it's a homecoming for him. It's his first return to Turf Moor. Would you believe it? He's missed out on the last few occasions because of injuries, but I'm sure he will get a great reception up there. And to finish off the forward line and the starting 11, as I said, we expect rotation, and obviously we need to ensure that we go through in the FA Cup. So this being said, Tadic will get a rest and Josh Sims will start against Burnley. So that's my predicted starting 11 to play Burnley on Saturday afternoon, a long trip to Lancashire. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, which players you think will play at Turf Moor, and your score predictions in the comments below. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe for more.